You know how some people casually watch Stranger Things? Well, if you are an obsessive viewer like me, you've probably noticed those sneaky little hints the Duffer Brothers dropped, secretly predicting the future of the show. Like this hidden detail in the very first episode that pretty much everybody missed. It all kicks off in episode 1 when Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Will are playing Dungeons and Dragons, facing off against the Demogorgon, a powerful, terrifying monster from the game. Mike warns the group that it's their biggest challenge yet, and moments later, they lose when Will fails his dice roll. But here's the thing, this isn't just some random monster, it actually foreshadows the very real threat that soon abducts Will and terrorizes Hawkins. Pretty clever, right? It set the tone for the entire series, making their games subtle clues about what's to come. Fast forward to season 4, and suddenly we are hearing this eerie grandfather clock chime again and again before every single one of Vecna's victims bites the dust. But here's what's genius, that sound. It's not just there to creep you out, it's Vecna's calling card. And it starts way before the victims even know they're being hunted. Like Chrissy, the chimes follow her like a curse, but it's not random. It's foreshadowing Vecna's grip tightening around her. Jumping back to season 2, remember when Lucas teases Dustin for failing to rescue Princess Daphne in the arcade game Dragon's Lair? Most people laughed this off, but looking closer, it was actually foreshadowing Lucas winning Max's affection over Dustin. In season 4, Jason Carver delivers a line that seems like nothing more than harmless teenage bravado. While talking to Lucas, he casually quips that a hangover feels like being split in two. It plays like a throwaway joke. At the time, it's easy to shrug it off. Fast forward to the chaos of the Upside Down, breaking through into Hawkins. Jason finds himself at ground zero. As the gates tear through the town, one of them rips directly through Jason's body, splitting him in two in a gruesome blink and you'll miss it moment. It's quick, brutal, and merciless. And suddenly, that hangover joke isn't so funny. The beauty and horror of this foreshadowing lies in its subtlety. And the fact that he said it, that makes it all the more haunting. The real hangover, realizing the Upside Down doesn't care who you are. There is another sneaky clue in season 4. In the premiere, behind Will during a school presentation, the name Henry subtly appears. Henry Creel, as true fans know, is Vecna's real name. It was a tiny hint pointing towards Vecna's connection to Will and the unfolding nightmare. At first, Eddie Munson's tattoos just seem like part of his heavy metal rebellious style, but if you look a little closer, those bats on his arm aren't just cool designs, they're a quiet clue about what's coming. Fast forward to his final moments in the Upside Down and those tattoos take on a whole new meaning. Eddie doesn't just fight any monster, he faces a swarm of terrifying bat-like creatures. And in one of the most unforgettable scenes in Stranger Things, he charges into battle with them, buying time for his friends and proving he's more than the town's misunderstood outcast. He dies fighting the very things that were inked on his skin all along. It's subtle but powerful. The bats on his arm were more than just decoration, they hinted at his fate from the very beginning. Back in an earlier season, there's a sweet but easy to miss moment between Will and his mom Joyce. Will's talking about Dungeons and Dragons, explaining how sometimes even smart wizards can't outthink their enemies. When that happens, he says they have to use powerful spells like Fireball to win. At the time, it just sounds like a kid geeking out over his favorite game, but later, that little moment turns into something much bigger. When Will is taken over by the Mind Flayer, he's trapped in his own body and nothing seems to help. Then Joyce does something bold. She uses heat and fire to force the creature out of him. She literally turns up the heat in the cabin, knowing it's the only way to fight what's inside her son. Just like the Fireball spell Will mentioned, fire becomes the weapon that finally works. It's an amazing piece of hidden foreshadowing that no one noticed. When Murray first appears, he was ranting about a Russian invasion in Hawkins. It's easy to dismiss him as just another crazy conspiracy theorist, something to roll your eyes at and move on. Even Hopper treats his theory like a joke, but here's the twist. Murray wasn't crazy, he was ahead of the curve. Season 3 wastes no time proving just how right he was. Beneath the surface of the Starcourt Mall, literally a covert Russian operation is underway, complete with military scientists, armed guards, and a massive machine designed to punch a hole into the fabric of reality. While everyone else was busy underestimating him, Murray had already connected the dots. His so-called wild theories were actually early warnings. It's a brilliant bit of foreshadowing that caught my eye. Fast forward to season 4, you know that eerie clock chime that plays before Vecna shows up? It wasn't just for scares, it was a countdown to death. In episode 1, Chrissy walks into the woods and sees a grandfather clock. Its glass cracked in a very specific pattern. Later, when Vecna opens a portal, it's the exact same crack. Coincidence? Not in Hawkins. But here's where it gets interesting and crazier. The Roman numerals on the clock go up to 4, not IV. 4 identical ones. Why? Because Vecna doesn't just need 4 victims, he is number 1, Henry Creel. That's some next level foreshadowing hiding in plain sight. At first it just looks like a fun D&D scene, but if you were paying attention, it literally spoiled the whole season. Dustin rolls an 11 to stop Vecna. He fails. Only when Erica rolls a perfect 20 do they win the game. Sound familiar? It's the exact same setup in the Upside Down. 11 fights Vecna and fails. It takes multiple parties to even have a shot. This game wasn't just a game, it was a warning. You probably saw the Stranger Things 4 poster and thought, cool art. But look again, 4 roads, 4 corners, all spiraling into one massive rift. That's not just a design, that's Vecna's strategy. 4 victims, 4 deaths, 1 giant crack in Hawkins. The Duffers literally spoiled the entire season before it even aired, and nobody caught it. You don't mess around with Jim. Hopper sings it in the car, laughing carefree, but here's the twist. That song ends with Jim getting killed by a stronger man. Season 3 ends with Hopper dying in the Russian explosion, so yeah, they warned us. Back to season 1, remember when the Demogorgon unlocks a door without touching it? That shouldn't be possible. Demogorgons don't have telekinesis. But you know who does? Vecna. Vecna was already active even back then, controlling the Demogorgon like a puppet, giving it temporary powers to do his bidding. That tiny moment opens the door literally to something wild. Vecna might have been influencing events long before we knew his name. Season 1, episode 3, Nancy walking down the hallway, worried, asking around, "Have you seen Barb?" We all know the answer, but in that moment, the show already gave it away. Right behind Nancy is a poster pinned to the school bulletin board. Black letters, a single word, nevermore. It's a nod to Edgar Allan's Poe's The Raven, where a grieving narrator is haunted by the word after losing someone forever, hinting Barb's death. In season 2, episode 7, yep, the lost sister, the one nobody likes to rewatch, there is a strange symbol in the background of one scene, a hand with an eye in the center. To a casual viewer, just creepy set dressing. To a D&D nerd, that's Vecna's signature mark. It's the same symbol from the Vecna Lives, Dungeons & Dragons module, and knowing how deep the Duffer Brothers are into their D&D lore. If you want to know about the major deaths in Stranger Things, then click on the right video, and if you want to see some cool hidden details, then click on the left video.